All right, welcome to the removable partial dentures review series. And I made this review series per request of some of you have messaged me requesting that I make review series on dentures. Okay, so these are high heeled. Okay, so you can use this series to review some of the essentials or basics for removable partial dentures while you prepare for your exam. Okay. All right. And these series are going to be limited between uh, 10 and 20 minutes each, so that you have enough time to review each series. Okay. Um, and this is going to allow you, actually, some of you may be standing in in line somewhere, and you want to do a quick review. You can use that. That's why it's going to be limited to a short amount of time. All right. Versus some of the lectures which are 1 hour. Okay. So question one. Okay. A component of a removable partial denture that connects one side of the frame with the opposite side is called what? Okay. What component of a removable partial denture that connects one side of the frame with the opposite side of the frame? Okay. So A, minor connector, B, major connector, C, recit, or D, cast circumferential clasp. Okay. So our answer here is B. Okay. So the major connector is the one which connects the components of a removable partial denture from one side to the other. Okay. So keep that in mind. Question number 2. Which of the following is the location of a rest seat? So A, occlusor, B, incisor, C, cingulum, or D, or the above. So in other words, where can you put a rest seat on a removable partial denture? So a rest seat can be put on all of these. You can put it on the occlusal surface, you can put it on the incisor surface, and also you can put it on in a cingulum. Of course, you have to prepare it. You have to prep the tooth for that. So the answer here is going to be D. Okay. So these are straightforward. There's no need for a prolonged feedback on this one. Okay. All right. So question 3. The component of a removable partial denture used to retain and prevent dislodgement is what? So which component of RPD is used to retain and prevent dislodgement? Is it indirect retainer? Is it direct retainer? Is it a recit, or D, or the above? So which component retains and prevents dislodgement of an RPD, right? So our answer is B, the direct retainer. All right. The direct retainer retains and prevents dislodgement. Okay, so let's look at the feedback for this one. Okay. So you have to know a direct retainer. What is a direct retainer? So a direct retainer is a component of an RPD which is used to retain and prevent dislodgement. It consists of a clasp assembly or a clasp attachment. Okay. And there are different types of direct retainers. There's a precision or semi-precision attachments or conventional clasps. All right. And the clasps, as you know already, provide the RPD with ability to resist movement away from the basal sitting tissues. So you need to understand the components or the function of a direct retainer. Okay? So retention of the RPD is always a concern, and the component part applied to resist this movement away from the teeth provides retention for the prosthesis is called a direct retainer. You have to know that the direct retainer always, okay, resists movement away from the teeth. All right. And a direct retainer is any unit of an RPD that engages the abutment. All right. So make sure you know the definition of a direct retainer. All right. So question 4. What is a cingulum rest? Well, this is a simple and straightforward, right? What is a cingulum rest? So A, a cingulum rest is a broad V-shaped and can be constructed on a rest or restoration. B, a cingulum rest is a broad inverted V-shaped and can be constructed on a restoration. So our answer here is B, okay? A cingulum rest is a broad V-shaped, okay, and can be constructed on a restoration. So you have to know that. So here's an example. So in the lingual view, the cingulum rest is a broad inverted V-shaped, okay, and in the proximal view, the cingulum rest tapers towards the center of the tooth. Make sure you know these components, okay, these points. And a cingulum rest can be constructed on a restoration. All right, okay. So just because you have a restoration on a tooth or an amalgam on a tooth doesn't mean that you cannot put a cingulum rest over there. Okay. All right. So question number 5. An imaginary line around which a removable partial denture tends to rotate is called what? Okay. So what is the name of an imaginary line around which a removable partial denture tends to rotate? Is it A, a fulcrum line, B, a beading line, C, a posterior palatal seal, or D, or the above? Okay, so if you say the fulcrum line, you're correct. So the answer is a fulcrum line. And so you have to know that the fulcrum line is very important, okay? So let's look at the definitions of the fulcrum line. Okay, it's an imaginary line, so you don't necessarily have to uh, to make this fulcrum line, but you have to imagine where it is. Okay, and a retentive fulcrum line passes through the tips of retentive clasps. So you can imagine the fulcrum line passing through the tips of the retentive clasps. And RPD rotates when the base moves away from the tissue. However, a stabilizing fulcrum line passes through rest seats. Okay, a retentive fulcrum line passes through the tips of retentive clasps. Stabilizing fulcrum line passes through rest seats, and in this case, the RPD rotates around during occlusal forces application. Okay. All right. So, question number 6. After extraction and healing, patient presents for impression and fabrication of a mandibular RPD. So, which of the following is an indication of a lingual bar as a major connector? So you have to know the types of major connectors for the maxilla. You have to know the types of major connectors for the mandible. and you have to know when each major connector is indicated. Okay, so what is the indication of a lingual bar as a major connector? Is it 8 millimeters or less? Is it 5.5 millimeter or more, 5.5 millimeter or less, or 8 millimeters or more? Okay, so whenever questions have two options which seem the same, okay, make sure you pay attention. So 8 millimeters or more, that's what you need. So our answer here is D. Okay, so let's look at the design. So the lingual bar, okay, the lingual bar indications, you need 8 millimeters or more of vertical space. So you need from here, from the gingival margin to the floor of the mouth here, okay, this distance must be 8 millimeters or more for you to make a lingual bar as a major connector. Okay, so the indication for a lingual bar, the lingual bar should be used for mandibular RPD when sufficient space exists. Okay, so if you have 7 millimeters or less, you can't use that, because the reason, if you have less space and you put a lingual bar, it may interfere with speech. It may interfere with swallowing, because when the floor of the mouth elevates in speech or swallowing, then it's going to impinge on the lingual bar. Okay, so you have to make sure that you have at least 8 millimeters. All right. And so some of the characteristics, usually the lingual bar is a pure, it's a half-shaped pure bar, and its bulkiest portion is in the inferior side. And the inferior portion of the lingual bar has to be rounded, okay? And this prevents damage to the floor of the mouth when the floor of the mouth elevates, okay? And the inferior portion of the lingual bar, okay, the inferior portion of the lingual bar must be at least 3 to 4 millimeters from the floor of the mouth, okay? So make sure you understand the lingual bar indications, all right? Okay, so the coming up next is going to be the removable partial dentures review series number 2. Make sure you subscribe, but also don't. When you subscribe, make sure you click on the bell for notifications. If you don't click on the bell, you're not going to receive notifications for the new videos. Okay, all right. Good luck, and keep sending me messages on your request. Okay, all right. Good luck.